Hey everyone, it's Rick. Welcome to Rad Garage. It's a Thursday morning here in Calgary, and I am going to be cleaning my SWISSTRAX floor today. I've had a few details happen in the last little while, so the dirt from those cars is now underneath my floor. You can't see it, which is the primary benefit of a SWISSTRAX RibTrax floor, but I do know it's there. I can hear a little bit of crunching when I walk around certain parts of the garage, so I could live with it, but I have the time, why not clean it? And I thought what I would do today is talk a little bit about what kind of maintenance you can expect with a floor like this. And I'll just start by saying that it's a primary function of where you live, how much maintenance you'll need to put into maintaining the floor. I live in probably the dirtiest city in North America, and it sounds like I'm exaggerating, but the winters are excruciating, and even in the summer, I live in a part of Calgary that's under constant construction, so dust and debris do get dragged into the garage quite regularly. Plus, with my detailing, that doesn't help. So I have cleaned this floor a lot. I don't think there's anybody out there who has a floor system like this that has cleaned their floor more than I have. So I have a lot of experience. I want to share that today, so please stick around. Okay, I'm going to take the car out of the garage. I'm going to park it on the street because I will be using my driveway as a staging area for the tiles. I'll be pulling them out onto the driveway so that I can pressure wash the floor. So here we go. Okay, hopefully my mic can pick me up. I haven't got a lapel mic yet, which is next on my shopping list, but what I have here is a convenient little tool called a tile popper. You can get this on Obsessed Garage. This was actually the brainchild of a good friend of mine named Sean, Gully's Garage. So it's really great because what I'm going to do is I'm not going to take out the whole floor. I'm only going to take out the part of the floor where I know there's dirt underneath. So what I do is I just put this little popper in here and I pull up. And I'll do that all across the top here, as you'll see. And then that allows me to take the main portion of the floor out. So I just have to make sure it's all unfastened. So unfastening the floor into these sections does probably look like more work than it is. In all reality, it takes you less than 30 seconds. And once I have my floor, you can hear a little bit of the crunching underneath the floor from some of the rocks and dirt that's under there. But once they're unfastened and ready to be pulled out, this really isn't as laborious as it might appear. I get a lot of comments on other videos I've done where I've cleaned my floor where people are like, that does it for me. There's no way I'm going to do that much work. It's a little bit of work, and depending on your situation, it's either going to be worth it or not. And for me, it's definitely worth it. So now I'm going to take these strips of SWISSTRAX tiles out onto the driveway. That happens sometimes. It's not quite unfastened all the way. Let's try that again. So now I've got the floor removed. I'm basically looking at my garage floor, which I do seal with a high gloss acrylic sealer every year. just to help protect it from all the water that it sees. You can see there's quite a bit of dirt concentrated around where basically where the wheels are. That's where most of the dirt comes off when I detail cars. So at this point, I'm just going to hook up my pressure washer and get this gunk out of here. All right, this floor is nice and clean. It's time to squeegee it dry. So the application of a glossy sealer to this floor makes this part of the process really easy, as well as pressure washing. It was so easy to wash all that gunk out. I highly recommend sealing your floor. All right, floor looks nice and clean. Okay, everyone, so this takes us to the point of the process where I clean the SWISSTRAX tiles now that they're separated into sections out there on the driveway. And there's been different ways I've approached this over the years. But because they're long and narrow, one of my favorite ways to clean them is to bring them in maybe 4 sections at a time, or 4 tiles at a time, but snake them over top of something. So I have this little drawer from my shed that I use, turn upside down, and what that does is it just allows me to wash them and not have any of the dirt that might stick to the bottom dragged back in. So by having it lifted, I feel like I'm not going to be dragging any of the dirt that may be on the bottom of the tiles, caught in the channels of the tiles. Hopefully that won't be brought into the garage. So I'm about to do that. That's really the laborious part of this process, and there's ways you could do this really thoroughly that I'm not going to do today, but when my floor is really dirty, I'll use a water broom. So when the tiles have dirt really embedded within the channels, I will use this water broom. That's just a cheap one from Lowe's. But the tiles really are not that dirty. All of the dirt that came off the car when I detailed it fell through the tiles. So those tiles just really need a rinse, but sometimes they need a wash. So I'll use an all-purpose cleaner. I'll spray it. I'll go over it with the pressure washer and this water broom. But it's not really necessary today, but there is a video where I've done that, maybe even 2. So make sure you check those out if you live in a climate where you know that your tile floor is going to become really dirt encrusted. If you take a close look here, I've got this little drawer that's only about 8 or 9 inches tall, and I have it sort of leveraged into place here by my squeegee. And what I'll be doing is pulling this panel, this section. It's hard to do with one hand, I'm not that strong. But I'll be pulling it over this as I pressure wash the tiles. And I wouldn't really call it a pressure wash, more of a pressure rinse. So that is the part that makes a lot of people go, this isn't the system for me, but I don't mind it at all. It doesn't actually take that much time. Obviously it's going to take more time if I'm filming it, but I can usually do this clean in under a half an hour. bit more. Slap it down and pressure rinse. This process is going to get even easier for me once I have my Comet static wall-mounted pressure washer, which is something I'm looking at doing this month. All right, we'll finish off this section and then we'll snap it into place. All right, snapping it back into place sounds easy, but the trick is lining up the tongue and grooves. So pull it in a little bit too far so it overlaps there, and the same on this side. So I have to feed the males underneath the females here, and it does require me pulling the tiles with the male ends up a little bit. I'm going to grab my tool again. I think it's in my pocket here. Bear with me. Okay, so pull this up above. Oh, that's what we didn't want to happen. Okay, there we go. So then I just gently kick it into alignment, and we'll do the SWISSTRAX shuffle, which is really catching the world by storm. All right. Okay, here's the shuffle. Easy to learn. Making sure the camera's on there. Don't want you to miss a step. All right, this is why I can't wait to get a new pressure washer. Look at this hose. Even with the swiveling spray gun, my hose just loves getting all twisted up. Very frustrating. Not sure if the camera's picking it up, but there's a lady who's just losing it on the phone. She's been out there for a half an hour, ranting and raving. So people are pretty stressed out these days. Okay, that does it for the second middle panel. Same thing here, I just overlap them a bit. Pull out my little popper tool. A 2 centimeter overlap there. It's easier to kick than to pull. Pull this up. Once in a while you get some tiles that separate, but they're easy to kick back into place.
tell you, you get really good at this over the years. Trust me on that. All right, time to do some more SWISSTRAX shuffle down this long edge. Very satisfying. See, there's one little spot there that needs a step. There we go. Now for the third and final panel. So what happened here is, as I was pulling this final panel out, it sort of separated in the middle, so it's now in two smaller sections, no big deal. Whoops. Yeah, so there's really no problem if your long section becomes divided. It's actually easier to maneuver. I don't know if the camera caught that. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie, there are some times where you get a little frustrated. This little panel of 6 tiles just broke loose. Honestly, the connectors could be stronger with this SWISSTRAX system, but you know, you just have to position it back into place and knock it down with your foot. Bit of a pain. Those things, they add time to the process for sure. But there have been times where I haven't had any of these issues. But yeah. Okay, let's resume putting it back into position. Gets a little awkward when you get into a corner. Okay, and that's good. Did I put my popper tool way over there? Yeah. Okay. Just lift it up, clears. I think this would be the part of the process where some guys will say, I'm out. I'm tapping out. But you do get better with time and experience. And you know, depending where you live and depending on what kind of environment you're facing, you might find a more reasonable way for you to do it. But this is almost 10 years. I had a race deck floor before upgrading to the SWISSTRAX, and the process was the same. Okay, we're down to the final panel now. Perfect. Want to step around these tiles when they're elevated like this, otherwise the connectors will disengage, so that's why I'm dancing around, not going on them. Okay, we're getting to that final step, the part I anticipate the most. Hey Marco, did you have fun last night? Yeah. That was a good time. Alright. Oh, let's go team apart here a little bit. Kick that back together. Because it can be a little strenuous moving these panels around by hand once they're close to being in position, I kick these forward to about the point where they're going to fall below. So I get to about right there, where I say there's about a 2 centimeter space before it falls down. Because I'm putting basically these females underneath the males, it's just an easier way. And then I grab the old popper tool and I pull up so that, I don't know if the camera's picking this up, I'm gonna get the females underneath. And it just saves a lot of energy. So once they're like that, yeah, perfect. Now I can just pull from the other end, or actually just give it a, there we go. That last kick really did it. This is so close to falling down over top that that's what you want, because it's so hard to lift up the panel. There you go. And you can just awesome. All right, that brings us to the end of the process. All that's left now is just tidying up, putting my pressure washer away, putting my rolling carts back into position. I do have a section of my garage that has the solid vinyl tracks, so I give them a quick little sweep, and I have one of those kind of, not a Swiffer mop, but something similar. And then that's done. So, you know, this process might seem like way too laborious, but now what I have is a garage that is ready to protect my feet from any kind of water, any kind of moisture, which is great for detailing, because if I didn't have this floor and I was in the middle of a detailing project and I needed to get down low, I'm in that water, I'm in that mud. So I know some people like that. Well, they don't like that, but that's something that they deal with. I can't deal with that. Plus I just love the look of it. You know, there's got to be 1,001 different combinations you could use to design your SWISSTRAX floor, but I really like it, but I'm not gonna lie, it takes maintenance. So how often do I do a clean like this really depends on how dirty the garage is getting. So during the summer, I might do it weekly, but honestly, it's something I enjoy doing. I know some people don't enjoy maintenance, but I'm one of the weird guys who actually enjoys maintenance as much as whatever it is that's making things dirty. So thanks for sticking around. If you do have any comments or questions, I talk to people about SWISSTRAX flooring systems all the time. Feel free to leave a comment below. Or if you want, you can even email me at radgarageyyc@gmail.com. So once again, everyone, thanks for tuning in. Like I said before, if you have any questions, let me know. But that's how I maintain my SWISSTRAX floor up here in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Take care.